Taking in the view?
It's spectacular. These sulfur pools are dumping grounds for bodies. People hide all sorts of evidence out here.
Give him credit for putting the land to good use.
My name's Daenerys. One day there'll be a reckoning for all these murders. I'm trying to collect the evidence and account for the victims.
That's just bleeding heart crusader crap. I'd rather collect whatever's on the bodies and make some cash.
This is Drexel, a leech. I'd prefer to shoot him, but that would kind of go against the whole grain of my work. These cesspools are scattered everywhere. If you find any bodies in your travels, let me know. Future justice will thank you.
Or let me know, and I'll thank you right now.
The locker contains personal items. It is registered to the Parchero.
Parchero? This is from the Solarian Ark.
So they're here.
It looks like a salvage team is hunting down these lockers, meaning there's more. The Solarians are out there somewhere.
This body was dumped here, as Daenerys claimed. I have recorded the location and relevant DNA information for any future investigation. Another murder victim. I have logged the relevant information. Another murder victim. I have logged the relevant information. Another murder victim. I have logged the relevant information.
Shit. Someone's coming. Act normal.
Nice day for a stroll, huh?
Don't mind our friend here. He's, just tired. Needed a little nap is all. Be good as new.
Heads up. Those exiles won't be on the side. I think that's it. That should do it. We found all we can. Let's get back to Cineris.
Hi again. Do you have the locations of the victims? It's the only way to make sure justice is served.
Or you could give the data to me for a quick reward. Something real.
Someone has to be held accountable for these murders.
Thank you. A civilization is nothing without justice.
Gil's been asking if you can come by.
You have AVP outstanding, Pathfinder.
I'm going to recommend a team-wide increase in caloric intake. Yay, more cans.
Are you sure about that, Lexi? We don't know how long we're going to need the rations to last. Even trading with Kadara and Aya, we don't have a reliable food source in Helios yet.
I'm sure you'll find a way.
orbiting Kadara.
Honor to meet you, Pathfinder. Initiative Pilot Marixus. I run supplies to your outposts.
What brings you to Aya?
There's survival supplies only Aya has. I'm waiting on clearance to enter the city, but it's taking too long. I understand their caution, but the outposts need these supplies. I have to get them, now.
They let me into the city? I can help.
I appreciate that. To start, EOS needs a way to produce food to support population growth. They've requested quinoa seeds to begin their own crops. There's an agricultural scientist who might sell some.
I'll make sure to get those seeds.
Settlers on Kadara are suffering from a bacterial infection. They need Angaran antibiotics to fight it. A medic in the city should be able to help.
Got it. They'll have that medicine in no time.
Pathfinder, more of your outposts need help, if you have time. Volt's power grid is lagging without proper solar input. A solar amplifier would give them a boost. The solar technicians here may have the required parts.
I'll see what I can find.
When you have a moment, we should talk. Pathfinder, this is a tremendous honor. I must express my admiration for all you've done. Crossing the void between galaxies. Navigating the Scourge to find Aya. Incredible.
The odds were against us, that's for sure.
Yet here we are. Strangers from different galaxies conversing in friendship. Extraordinary. I am Mariko Daresh, Chief Voneron.
A Voneron? That's very... I don't know what.
Ah, linguistics, not my strength. I am a celestial observer, charting the movements of stars, planets, and the Scourge.
An astronomer? You know the safe routes out there?
We deploy satellites that alert us to new hazards and opportunities. But we've lost contact with several key observers. They've simply stopped. I sent a vessel to scan their last known locations, but nothing's been found. Your Tempest is highly advanced. I hoped you could aid our search.
Even Pathfinders need a good map. I'll look into it.
I knew you'd understand. I'll provide search nav points. And when I can finally reconcile our charts with fresh satellite data, I'll gladly share all we have. Hello, Pathfinder. How can I help?
How many planets have you colonized?
When we returned to space after the Scourge, we discovered our civilization had survived on 5 worlds. People from one of those worlds found and settled Aya.
Could there be more Angaran worlds from before the Scourge? Ones you don't know about?
That's one reason we travel the stars, in hope of finding what we've lost.
How good are your satellites at watching the Scourge?
They've served us well for many decades. My grandmother led the program that designed them, and my mother tended them before me.
Does the Scourge change shape and direction often?
On an astronomical scale, it's like a fast-moving river, but travel routes generally remain stable for years at a time.
Could your colonies wind up cut off from each other?
Worse than that, if the Scourge engulfs a world, everything on it dies.
How long have your people had space travel?
Before the Scourge, we colonized many worlds, or so we're told.
You don't know for sure?
The Scourge erased all records. Everything became myth, passed down as oral history. We rebuilt our space program only a few hundred years ago.
From Stone Age to Space Age in a few centuries. Impressive.
Nothing will keep us from the stars. Not the Scourge, not Ket. We belong out there.
That's all for now.
Stars and skies protect you.
Pathfinder.
Venturing into space only to find more of your own people?
But we discovered the first relay. What if instead of Turians?
We'd found humans. Gives me chills just thinking about it.
Any news?
You work on the solar panels? Do you have an amplifier for solar energy?
Nothing as big as these, but I have a smaller one on hand. Do you need it?
beautiful.
Ven, thought you'd be in a resistance holding cell.
That was Ephra's plan. He wanted to throw me down a hole once he got his precious answers. The Moshae convinced him to release me here. I volunteer and they let me see sunlight.
You didn't trade one cell for another after all. And you get fresh air.
And servitude, dressed up like forgiveness. The Moshae keeps her high ground, and I'm the traitor who gets a second chance.
It's better than what Sloan would have done to you.
Lucky me. I should get back to work. They're not paying me to stand around. Oh, that's right. They're not paying me at all.
When trouble comes calling, will you be ready?
Weird question. You don't have any Kiloa seeds, do you?
Yes, I do. Need some?
I'm not selling to aliens.
Pathfinder.
Doing okay?
Who knew saving a respected member of Angaran society would open so many doors? I've been talking to some of their traders, seeing if we can work things out.
For us, for the science, for you.
I know you like looking for the advantage, but we need to earn their trust first. Don't bargain too hard.
You're the boss.
If I don't sell it, you don't need it.
New clientele is always welcome here. Have a look. I'm sure you'll find something to your taste.
The sales pitch is good, but it's the follow-through that matters.
I'll let my inventory speak for itself. They let you pass the gates.
Can I shop here, or should I go elsewhere?
Well, you did rescue the Moshae. Have a look, see if there's anything you want.
Vestoran? I was there when you landed. Watched you get escorted through the city.
Whatever you're making, I have...
Bet that was a sight.
You were an unexpected outsider. Not really a laughing matter.
I've never seen fruit like this before. What are these?
Paripo. Sweet with a little bite. Sometimes if I'm lucky, I have a few Kiloa or Elmok.
Is fruit scarce here?
In this form, yes. Very expensive. If you buy a Paripo from me, it means you have something to celebrate. It's a luxury, meant to be shared with friends and family.
I'll get moving.
Unrefined goods on sale right here. Make them your own.
Your credits are as good as anyone else's. Don't start any trouble and we're fine.
I'll be the poster child for no trouble.
Whatever that means, it'll do. It would be wise to speak with me before engaging in trade. I never thought I'd see the Moshae again, least of all thanks to you.
Visit me for
Welcome to the marketplace. I am Arbiter Renav. I enforce correct conduct between merchants and customers, resolving any disputes. As the first outsider to enter the city, you are ignorant of our laws. We should change that.
Who decides what happens to people who break the law?
It depends on the grievance. I settle minor offenses right here. More serious ones require a tribunal.
Where I'm from, the biggest trade law is don't cheat. Is it different here?
I suspect we define cheating differently. What is unfair changes based on perspective.
I don't want to cause any trouble. How do I learn your laws?
I'll transmit a full readout. Familiarize yourself with the contents. Personal responsibility is a core foundation of our society. We expect it from everyone.
Understood.
Please visit my colleagues in the Governor's office and the Resistance headquarters. They'll teach you about our culture and what it means to walk freely among us. Your understanding is critical. It would be unfortunate if you accidentally violated our laws.
Get your raw materials.
For us, for science,
We must find common ground. Exaltation affects...
Exaltation is just another word for how the Keg kill us.
And if you're wrong? If we've been killing for them without realizing it?
I saw a Ket up close when they attacked. It was nothing like our people.
I've seen different types of cat. They could be exalting multiple species.
Anything they transform is an abomination. We have to destroy the creatures.
Thank you for that. Insight, Pathfinder. The issue facing us is complex. Come, my friends. Deliberate with me.
Welcome to the Taverton. Feel free to order a drink, or if you're hungry, we have nutrient paste. Not as exciting as fresh fruit, but you'll like it.
What does Taverton mean? My translator won't pick it up.
It depends on the context. If it's a person, it means an old friend. If it's a location, like this, it's more... a place you could bring someone home to.
What if you need to meet your Taverton at the Taverton?
It's not so hard to understand. I'm sure your language has its quirks.
Don't get me started. What's in that stuff?
In short, everything. Nearly all the food we grow goes straight into processing. We can feed an entire planet in a single harvest. Even ship some off-world.
How do you stretch your food that far?
It's complicated. Hard to explain without going into lengthy detail. But I'd be happy to send some to your ship, along with my process notes.
The Nexus would love that.
Consider it done.
I'd like a drink. That's all for now.
We'll come back anytime.
Good to be back here. Ready to hit those scans?
What am I looking for?
Moran called out supplies that may have useful properties for our tech. Just need to get Sam's eye on them. Take a stroll. Enjoy the market. Nafset. Real change in tone after that care facility. Half the Angara are thankful, half are even more suspicious.
Let's try not to make it worse.
Don't worry about me. They're busy glaring at Cora for some reason.
Helping the Moshai opened a lot of doors around here. Most Angara still keep their distance, though.
Well, you are a bit of an eyesore.
Speak for yourself. When I saw my first human, I couldn't understand how you keep your blood inside. Skin that thin. Hey, kid.
I have a scar for you. Look at this. Wrong side. Trapped my foot for 2 hours before I was able to get a call out. We have plenty of time for more phones.
Especially on this day.
I don't sell it. You don't need it.
Not today, Nexus.
Liam?
God damn it.
What's going on?
Nothing to worry about. Just come grab a table with me.
I'm not selling to aliens.
Sun-ripened fruit.
Pathfinder, you're good here. We'll worry about the data another time.
Liam, what's going on?
I, figured we should head up somewhere nice and open. You were being cased.
If someone wants trouble, I'm not afraid to give it to them.
Ruling in the market won't help. I don't blame them for being angry. I wanted to get data that would help yields at our outposts. Moran told me what to scan, but I called it off. I still owe her, but it's better than pissing off some gouging hardliner. Sorry I didn't clue you in. It's a security thing. Food is security.
Was this an attempt to copy their methods? Steal secrets?
We're not competing companies. It's about learning to live here. Remember my Tempest freakout? I tried proper channels. Got blocked by the Angara and the Nexus. There's only so much Jar can tell us, so I did what we do back in crisis response. Bend the rules.
You do what you have to, but let's not make a habit of it.
I don't want to. Like I said, I don't blame them for getting cross. The last people who showed up out of the blue were the Ket, the ultimate users. I don't want us getting lumped in with them, and I really, really don't want to ruin the market. Street food and shooting the shit with you feels normal. About time something did.
Let's not push our luck. We'll save the market for another day.
Good idea, Pathfinder. We've enough trouble, and probably more coming. Hey, Ryder. This place is brilliant. There's a lot we can learn from the Angara.
Learned you were coming. I prepared a datapad on our laws regarding war. Learn them.
Move Team Vayon to replace them? No, 6-9 is still unstable. They'll be out of food in 2 days, out of ammo in 3. They have to fall back.
Sounds like you've got trouble.
Too many kit, not enough resistance. I have a team that's been in the field for 6 months without resupply. They won't come in. Say they're close to taking down a kit outpost, but I don't know.
If they could do it alone, they would have by now. Send reinforcements.
Hitting the enemy in one place leaves us vulnerable elsewhere. But you're right. This is the hardest part of my job. Thank you for the advice, Pathfinder.
Pathfinder, next time you're on Kadara Port, I need a favor. The contact who helped us find Venturev hasn't checked in. He's overdue.
Don't know when I'll be there next, but I can look him up.
If he doesn't have a good excuse, he's fired. What do you need?
What's your story, Ephra?
You're not getting my personnel file.
I'd just like to know who I'm working with.
You want to know what it's like being me? I wake up every morning to fight a war. I send people to kill and die. If I'm lucky, there are more dead Ket than resistance when I go to sleep.
That's a hell of a burden.
Enough personal discussion.
I hope the initiative is making a good impression.
The initiative? Sounds so unthreatening, like a city planner meeting.
That's kind of what it's meant to be.
City planners don't walk around in battle armor with rifles on their shoulder.
Depends on the city. My point is, we traveled through dark space to build something here.
That's what invaders always say. At first.
We're not invaders.
Of course.
What do you think of your governor?
She governs Aya, not the Resistance.
Way to avoid the question. Is there history between you?
I can always count on Paran to offer a spirited argument.
You respect her?
She holds her own. Not many do.
You've been fighting Ket a long time. Any advice?
Your war's different from ours.
It's still a war, and we're not prepared for it.
Wouldn't matter if you were. The Ket aren't a conventional enemy.
Any idea where they came from? A homeworld somewhere?
Each of our colonies heard a different story. I doubt any were true. They came from far away. That's all we know.
Ever tried following a Ket ship to see where it goes?
Of course we did. Wherever home is, they don't visit.
Do the Ket have a favorite strategy? Something we can exploit?
They switch tactics constantly, almost capricious about it. Makes them unpredictable.
They must have some weakness.
They're vulnerable to brute force. That's enough.
The Ket aren't mindless monsters. They must care about something.
Slaves, resources, power. Same as any conqueror.
You didn't see the exaltation process. They treat it like religion.
They convert us against our will. That's not religion, it's genocide. Every culture has its purpose. Theirs is to take whatever they want.
There's no official Angaran military? Just the Resistance?
Lost our fleets and armies decades ago. Ket mostly. The rest fell to internal strife. We kept fighting, but our civilians were disorganized, poorly supplied, leaderless. Decades of aimless defiance got us nowhere. I had to make the resistance real.
I've seen armed people in uniform. They're not resistance?
Aya police. Purely ornamental. Gives us the appearance of civilization.
You don't think they're necessary?
If things go bad, the resistance will handle it.
That's up to the governor, isn't it? How is the resistance organized?
Loosely, we operate in cells. Independent strike teams have better odds. If the Ket capture a cell, it doesn't compromise the rest.
How did you wind up in charge?
Nothing to lose. My family was rounded up into a Ket slave camp. Last contact I had with any of them was 10 years ago.
They could still be alive.
Didn't figure you for an optimist.
What success have you had against the Ket?
Enemy casualties are up 600% in 3 years. But that's just a number. Every time we destroy a facility, take out a warship, we give our people hope.
And you're not fighting alone anymore.
We'll see.
I'll let you get back to it.
Good.
Let's go over this again, everyone. Center, ground, focus. Before you go into the field, you need to attain focus without
Sam, is this thing safe?
Yes. The slight ringing in your ears is nothing to worry about.
Very reassuring.
I assume you're the human everyone's buzzing about. If you're looking for treatment, I'm afraid I don't know enough about human physiology to be much help. Unless you can make use of the ion beds.
If Jal takes a hit on my watch, my doctor needs to know how to treat him. Can you point me to resources she can use to learn your methods?
So you're considering all possibilities. Jal is in good hands. I have medical journals on treating Angaran injuries and preventing complications. You're welcome to upload them to your ship's doctor for study.
Is there something special about the beds here?
They're filled with a negatively charged ion gel. The gel works with our natural electricity to speed recovery.
Think it'd work on other species?
Without bioelectricity, it would be of small benefit, but it might reduce pain.
So you guys are electrically charged?
Our bodies produce a store of electricity that we can dispel in a surge of energy. We use it for short-range communication, healing, even combat. I admit, I was surprised to learn your kind doesn't have that ability.
Some of us are biotic. It's similar. Kinda.
I would be interested to study biotics.
I'll get moving.
Ishari.
My people on Kadara are fighting a bacterial infection. Do you have antibiotics?
Of course. Will this do?
Ryder, they've got amazing REM-tech research going on here. I love seeing our Milky Way peeps mingling with the Angara. It's early in our interspecies relationship, but I hope we can build on the momentum.
Any one of a million things could happen, and whoops, the neighbors hate us.
So, don't go joyriding with the Nomad, huh? Obey the street signs? You're doing a great job, really. Keep up the good work.
Oh, it's you. I watched you land.
Hope you're not calling me it anymore.
You heard that. I apologize. I was ignorant.
What's your job around here?
Aylin and I help Avela with her studies. I specialize in restoration.
So you make relics look new?
New as I can. I'm not a miracle worker, no matter what Avela says. She'll praise Ellen and I to anyone who will listen. Never had a supervisor like that before.
I'll leave you to it.
Pathfinder.
I'll leave you to it.
I've heard so much about you. Is it true you entered a vault on Eos?
Sure is.
Amazing. I would have liked to see that.
Are you a relic hunter like Avela?
Actually, I started as an engineer. The Moshai requested my help cracking encryption on a remnant ship she found. Eventually, that led me to the repository. I've been handling data encryption here ever since.
I take it you help run this place.
Nalan and I are Avela's assistants. It's been strange getting used to that.
Why?
Avela's much younger than the previous curator. She has a lot more energy. Sometimes I have to remind her to take a break. She's too passionate for her own good.
I'll let you get back to it.
When I signed on to the initiative, I thought I'd be building museums, not enjoying alien cultures.
I came to establish communities. not integrate with an advanced civilization. Life's funny.
Think the Angara were just being polite when they accepted our exhibit?
They're as curious about us as we are about them.
It was a lot to assemble on short notice. I hope they understand.
We did fine. Don't know about you, but I could spend the rest of my life here just learning.
Oh, you're here. Welcome to my favorite place in the galaxy. Pavoa, I'm glad they finally let you into the city. You deserve it. This is Aya's Cultural Museum and History Archive. It's small, but you've already made it brighter. Pathfinder, I've been studying the helmet you found, and it's got me thinking. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't even know that helmet existed. What if that's not all we're missing? There could be a wealth of history just out of our reach. So, I'm requesting your help again.
For you? Anything.
I'd be lying if I said I didn't like the sound of that. I've led digs on every Angaran homeworld, but there are places I've missed, areas only a Pathfinder could go. There could be relics sitting untouched for centuries because no one could reach them. What I ask is this: if you ever find yourself in an area like that, you keep an eye out for artifacts.
I already found one. Take a look at this.
This is unfamiliar to me. It does resemble an Angara, but it looks so strange. It's clearly centuries old. Is it an artistic interpretation, or is this what we really look like? The implications. Pathfinder, you may have discovered our earliest artifact yet.
Does that win me any points?
I'd say you're getting there.
This is quite a place.
It feels like home to me. Sometimes I think I should move in here. But it's got a long way to go. Someday we'll fill it with relics of the past, each one telling a story. And my people will come here to learn. And to remember.
You'll get there.
With enough hard work, yes.
I'll come back when I have something.
Stars guide your travels.
Effa should have come to me.
Uxul, I'm all right.
You almost died. What's he doing here?
Relax. I was invited.
So it's true. Aya has opened its doors to outsiders.
Axel, Ryder rescued me from the Ket. He risked his life to...
Sloane Kelly saved Kadara. Look how that went.
I don't condone what happened on Kadara, but one bad experience doesn't define an entire species.
Your kind has a history of treating each other unfairly. Just ask the Krogan.
How did you...
I've been watching you. You're invaders just like the Ket, except less cautious.
What does that mean?
You'll know soon enough. Do not trust them, Chauvin.
Axel... He didn't used to be like this. He was curious, brilliant. But the Ket, even without exaltation, they change us.
Whoever Axel was, he's dangerous now.
Pathfinder, please help him.
I don't think he'll let me.
I can't let him go. Not yet.
Ryder, we just received an emergency recording from EOS. Come to the meeting room when you get back to the Tempest.
I found the device Ven was using to communicate with the Archon. I think we can use it to triangulate that Ket flagship's nav point.
All you have to do now is board it, steal the Meridian artifact, and escape in one piece.
When you put it like that, it doesn't sound so impossible.
Don't make light. You're venturing to a place of horrors you cannot imagine. No one has attempted anything like this before. For all our sakes, you must succeed. Now it's my turn. Thank you for freeing Ven to Ref at Kadara. I'm told you saved him from execution.
I know you wanted to question him. Did you learn anything?
Enough to understand his motives. He lost his way. But I have hopes he'll find it again. Ephra wanted to punish him. I suggested Ven help tend Aya's gardens. He spent too long surrounded by death. He needs to reconnect with life.
I'd like to know more about you.
What about me intrigues you?
You're an expert on several topics. Remnant, Ket, stuff I don't even know exists.
All true. Why? Do you want to be my student?
Is that an option? Because I didn't train for this job. At all.
Yet you do it well. There are two kinds of knowing. What we take in from the universe, and what's already inside us. You have the essentials figured out. The rest you can learn as you go.
What are you working on these days?
I thought being a Ket prisoner was the worst fate imaginable. Then I got home and saw my backlog. A Vela comes in every so often asking if I have a second. At this rate, I'll never catch up. To answer your question, I'm busy with everything and nothing. We'll see which wins.
You and my crewmate have a close relationship. Any advice? Hints?
He talks in his sleep. Worth it for the look on your face. Jarl is a dear and hopeless former student. He has a good spirit. You're lucky to have him, that's all.
Are you originally from Aya, or someplace else?
I was born on a research vessel in deep space. My parents were explorers. They never stayed in one place long. My own work has taken me to every world, many times over. They all try to claim me as their own, but if I'm honest, my favorite chair is here.
Any ideas on how we stop the Ket for good?
The real question is, how do we define victory over them? Complete eradication? Unlikely, costly, and morally dubious. Drive them away? How? What stops them from returning?
Peaceful coexistence doesn't seem to be an option.
There's much we still don't know. The Ket are not a simple problem. We can't reduce them to a simple solution.
My translator doesn't know what to do with your title, Moshai.
Because it isn't a title, it's a reference. People from mythological times, before the Scourge. Legends say we once had many Moshai. Master inventors of unfailing wisdom, guided by boundless compassion.
That's a lot to live up to.
It's nonsense. Don't remember who first called me Moshite, but I do recall telling them to shut up. To my regret, the name stuck. I've minded less lately. Being the Moshai has its uses.
When the Ket are gone, if we fix all these worlds, what do the Angara want?
Depends who you ask. We're individuals. Paran will continue spreading hope and optimism. I don't know what Ephra will do without an enemy to fight. Retirement won't suit him. As for me, maybe I'll just fade away. That's what people do when they're no longer needed, right?
Thank you, Moshai.
Ishare.
Ambassador Riala appears to be settling nicely into her office.
Arbiter Renav told me to expect you. I prepared a datapad detailing our laws. Read it fully.
Pathfinder? As you can imagine, your arrival raised concerns from Aya's people.
I thought I'd proven they have nothing to worry about.
You are one person. They want the Nexus to hear our voices. We've set up terminals in the city so people can leave messages for your people on the Nexus. I'd appreciate if you take a look and forward their communications to your people.
Ambassador, I trust our people had a smooth transition to Aya.
The Angara have been gracious. Everything's going well.
Good. Keep me updated. Tan out.
I've never lied to a director before. Pathfinder, it's a pleasure. I'm Ambassador Riala, Chief Diplomat for the Initiative on Aya. I was removed from Cryo specifically for this. Quite the wake-up call.
I assume you're trained for first contact diplomacy.
I'm a social anthropologist with a linguistics background. Close enough for Director Tan. I hear you're to thank for our new ties with Aya. This is our best shot at an alliance. Now we just need to keep our people from wrecking it, no matter how hard they try.
I'm not gonna like this, am I?
No more than I do. A Solarian botanist named Sorvis Len is here, learning how to improve our crops. He sent an urgent comm, saying a member of the Angaran resistance had threatened him.
What happened?
I'm not sure. Sorvis is an excellent scientist, but not the best communicator. I'm concerned this could escalate if someone doesn't look into it, but I don't have the staff to spare.
I can go settle things. I'm a friendly face for both sides.
That would be helpful. With any luck, we can prevent this from getting worse.
Aside from Sorvis Len, is everything okay? Need anything else?
Actually, yes. Director Tan gave me a project. He wants more Aya natives to live on the Nexus. He thinks it will deepen our partnership. A few Angara expressed interest, but none of them will agree to live on the Nexus without speaking to you first.
Why me?
After what you've accomplished? I didn't want to bother you, but you asked. I'll point you towards the candidates. If you could convince them to transfer, I'd be grateful.
How many of our people have they let into the city?
A strictly limited number, and only certain professions. Scientists, engineers, and scholars. The Angara have agreed to allow some of our people to work in Aya's research facilities.
That's huge.
It's more than I expected. Tan wants me to push for social visits, but I'm holding my ground. We need to move at their pace. They've been extraordinarily gracious, all things considered. I'll take whatever they're willing to give.
What's our end goal for Aya?
A strong alliance is all we can ask for. It's what we're working toward. Helios is the Angara's home. They dictate the terms of this partnership, not us. We need them as allies, and they could benefit from us. But we have to tread lightly.
Show them we're not invaders.
Historically, when two civilizations meet, one consumes or destroys the other. We need to break that cycle.
That's all for now.
I'm here if you need anything.
Pathfinder. The Ambassador's messages are overflowing again.
You're one of Ambassador Riala's candidates to live on the Nexus.
I am. Glad you finally showed up. Let's get down to it. I've lived my whole life wanting to meet aliens who didn't want me dead. But my family's here. How can I stay in touch with them from the Nexus?
You can send messages, talk to them on the comm. We'll even arrange a visit.
You get it. All right. I'm in.
I can't work under these conditions. What does it take to be left alone?
Ease off. I'm here to help. You reported that someone in the Resistance threatened you. Tell me exactly what happened.
I didn't know Riala was sending the Pathfinder. I deserve no less, of course. I was measuring the photonic dispersal from the canopies when some random brute interrupted me. I asked him to move, and he got nasty. Said it was my fault his friend was dead. Ridiculous.
Do you know what he meant by that?
He ranted nonsense about a vessel and selling slots to outsiders. He got right up in my face and compared me to a ket. He wanted to kill me. I could see it in his eyes. The whole conversation made no sense. I think he was inebriated.
Sounds like there's more to this. Don't suppose you caught his name?
Didn't ask, didn't want it, didn't need it. When he left, I tagged him with infrared dye from my sample kit. Invisible to the naked eye, but not to a scanner.
I'll scan people around the Resistance headquarters. See if I find him.
You're supposed to represent our interests on Aya. Go, represent. I have work to do. I've told you everything. My work is time sensitive. Stop wasting it.
Pathfinder, Ambassador Riala didn't think you'd have time for me.
She said you needed to talk before agreeing to live on the Nexus.
This is the opportunity of a lifetime. I'm an anthropologist, but I've only ever studied my own people. I've heard the Nexus is home to multiple species and cultures. It will be fascinating and possibly dangerous. Bacteria, viruses, other contaminants. My family worries about me. Are you sure I'll be safe?
They wouldn't let me on Aya if I was a walking petri dish, would they?
You aren't taking this seriously enough to satisfy my family. I can't go without their blessing. I'm sorry.
Invest in your personal protection. Shield yourself.
Good to see you. Wish I could join in down there. I could use a workout. It took humanity 8 years to get a Citadel embassy back home. Pretty impressive to get one here so fast.
All it took was handling some remnant.
It'll take more to keep this partnership going. Ambassador Riala will handle the embassy. Lets us focus on everything else. Ephra's letting me record a few of these training sessions. Just a few. But the Angara have some smart tactics. Now I get how they held out against the Jet.
Pathfinder, Ephra cleared you to purchase weapons. Over my objections.
Hey, selling an alien weapons would make me nervous too.
I don't do this for Ephra. I respect the Moshai.
I detect the infrared dye Sorvis Len used to mark the person who threatened him.
That's our man. Ambassador Riala said you're thinking of moving to the Nexus.
Pathfinder. I'm honored even to be considered for the transfer, but I won't be happy as just an observer.
need to work. I engineer power systems. Will I be allowed employment alongside your people?
That's the whole point of this exchange. The Nexus needs people like you.
That's all I needed to hear. I'll have your ambassador start the transfer. Thank you.
I found Kiloa seeds for Eos. Is this enough?
It's perfect. I'll make sure Eos gets them.
Here, I have the antibiotics for Kadara. Will the settlers be okay?
Once they have these, they'll be fine. I'll make sure they know who to thank.
Here, I found the solar amplifier for Vold.
They'll be happy to see this. No more power outages. Thank you, Pathfinder.
I know why you're here. The botanist. You want an apology for what I said to him.
You wrongly accused him of getting someone killed. Threatened him for no good reason.
Threat? That's not what happened.
What did?
Aya isn't big enough to give everyone a home. We each live here a short time and then move on. For someone to come, another must go. The exchanges are chosen at random. We call this arrangement the Vassal. Time of change. It worked well. Until now.
The Vassal never accounted for outsiders living on Aya.
There's only so much room. When our leaders agreed to make a place for your people here, it came with a cost. My friend won a place on Aya, but he sold that slot so one of you could stay here instead.
Sold it how? What did he get?
Comforts for his family, resources to improve their home on Haval. He always put others before himself. That's how he died, fighting Ket on Vold. When I found out, I was angry. Said things to your botanist I shouldn't have, but
I'd never hurt your people.
I believe you. And I'm sorry for your loss. Between us, that botanist is kind of a jerk.
He didn't fear my anger. I respect that.
I'll talk to our ambassador. See if we can minimize our impact on your vassal.
We don't expect things to be easy. Only that you understand, nothing is free for us. Thank you for listening, Pathfinder.
Director Tan is pleased with the Angara you sent to the Nexus. Thank you for your help. Any news on what happened to Sorvis Len?
Do you know about the Vassal? The Angaran lottery that decides who gets to live on Aya?
I've heard of it. Why?
Angara are selling their slots to come here, so our people can stay in their place. Including a member of the Angaran resistance. He was killed on Vold. Wouldn't have happened if he'd been here.
No one told me of this arrangement. Well, we have to do something.
If we reward the Angara for their sacrifice, maybe they won't resent our being here.
And we can ensure their survivors receive compensation in situations like this. Thank you, Pathfinder. I'll forward your proposal to Director Tan immediately.
That's all for now.
I'm here if you need anything.
Ryder, Liam's looking for you.
Pathfinder, you have new email.